Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to part 2 of building the Windenburg Airport project. My name is Roland, this is Neek, and we're continuing where we just left off with the teeny tiny convenience store right off to the left, right side, depends on your viewpoint, surely. To that side of the airport. Here we're doing a produce display right at the entrance of the store with these different kinds of boxes and whatnot, and I actually like the idea. I just think that there's too few decoration items. Like, there's 3 different kinds of fruit bowls, but yeah, that's not really enough for the store. Anyway, wine rack to the wall, and some other few tiny little pieces and you know, stuff, just teeny tiny stuff, and filling up the shelves with all kinds of clutter and whatnot. Here I found that parking meter and this strapped down ATM, both of which will be important in either later this episode or in a later episode. But nevertheless, oh yeah, actually right here I was trying to put in the ATM machines and make them look like real ATM machines, not that strapped down thief, that stolen one. Sorry, but you know what I mean. Anyway, so yeah, adding those items in as we speak. I kind of changed the colors here fairly often because I really wanted them to look like actual ATMs and not that weird whatever you'd call that, I don't know, stolen ATM. Yeah, so I've stuck with green and white, which looks cool. I think it matches the rest of the airport. And yeah, I was thinking of adding billboards, but then I thought, hey, why don't I add these food stalls and whatnot? So here we go, kind of in a wavy line, adding one next to the other. Yeah, now we're going on to doing the outside. So what I'm gonna build here is the runway. And I've had a plan of this in my head. So first of all, I had to look out and search out the right concrete and tarmac colors. Sorry. And yeah, so here we go. I outlined that with a white fence, and now I added different kind of road markings and lane markings and signs and whatnot to that, using those pool lane guidance thingies. I don't know, they're in the pool category, I don't know what they're called right now, but yeah, use those to make arrows, and the center line, and the I don't know the words for it. I'm sorry, I'm not an airport technician or whatever. I just looked at a few images on Google Images and took those as an inspiration to build this runway. Now I've added these glowing lights from the Sims 3, from the packs in Sims 3, which allowed me to do this beautiful thing, is to light it up at night with different colors. And I think that the runway this way lit up looks so realistic. I love it, I really do. Here are these, I think they're called Pappy lights, or at least that's what I wanted to do, for planes approaching, so they can tell at what height or what angle they're coming in. I don't know. Yeah, and I've added a box underneath so you wouldn't see like the stand and just the lights. Now I've added the taxiways, first of all across the entire building, and then these curved taxiways onto or off from the runway, and here's a stop line and whatnot. So I really struggled with this because I wanted to incorporate more runways and different angles, but the thing is that this is the biggest lot you can have in The Sims 4. It's a 64 by 64 lot, and I really couldn't add any more items or any more things to here. Now what I wanted to do here is a curved line by freely rotating, holding down Alt, but this was a catastrophe. Like you can see, it kind of curves out, but you always have to adjust every line, so I eventually scrapped that idea. Then I added this rounded curve with lights, which I also scrapped because I didn't like the way that looked. So instead I went for a regular yellow line with that thin fence from, I think, Back to Work. And yeah, they kind of approach and they kind of guide the plane to the center of the road. Then these are service roads for the, I don't know, the trolleys and whatnot. And I kind of curved out the road like this, and I really like the way that actually looks. And then I added a U-turning platform right here that guides the cars around in a U-turn way, which yeah, I will change up later, I think, slightly. Actually, here we go. Yeah, so that's that. Taxiway is pretty much done here. Now I wanted to include a barrier, but I didn't. Now this is also a thing I really liked. I made this no entry sign here with rugs and lane guidance markings and whatnot, and I will change that up in just a second using this stone, which actually makes it look like it's drawn on the pavement. I really love that idea, and I wish there were more shapes, but hey, at least this way it's pretty obvious that this is a no entry sign drawn on the tarmac. I like the idea, and because there's no street signs in The Sims 4, at least not any that I know of, this is a good way to do it, and this is actually the way they do it in airports, with signs on the tarmac, on the street. Yeah, so I added these garage doors here that aren't actually garage doors, but they're like from City Living, I think. I think they're from City Living. And yeah, these are usually used for graffiti or art, but I wanted to do a car park here for all the service cars and whatnot. So here we go, adding these lines for parking lots, entrance and exit ways, and I think I will add a tiny little island in the center with like a parking meter or whatever. Yeah, parallel parking spots, then a few signs to tell the person parking that who this parking lot belongs to or what's supposed to be parked there. Here we go. These tiny little, it's not tiny. They're not tiny. I'm a little confused now. Anyway, using those toy cars, scaling them up, makes them look like real cars, even though they're a little, they're poorly detailed because they're actually supposed to be this big and they're scaled up extremely, but hey, it gets the point across, because what I intended this to look like is like a car park, and it does look like a car park. It's actually very easy to understand. And here you can see there's actually some signs in here, but nothing that really matches. So I added these plaques to the wall that look like a sign for this and that person is supposed to park here and whatnot. Now we're doing the baggage claim area, the inside of it, like the back part of it, by adding the same counters, and doing this double wall makes it look like it actually goes through it, but it doesn't. So this looks kind of nice, also with those X-ray displays to look like you're scanning what goes through or out to the baggage claim area. Some search tables, and I found this bag with a lot of money, which is definitely something they would look through. And yeah, just adding these bags full of money and a backpack and books and whatnot with pirated music or whatever. You can invent a story here. Adding those nectar coolers to look like a refrigerator for bottles for the employees. Now, since we have these downstairs toilets, I wanted to add some curtains so you wouldn't be able to look in from the outside. Now we're doing the front part of the airport, and now we've jumped back in, adding trash cans, which is something that I forgot in the upstairs area. Now we're back to public toilets. This is the public toilets in the check-in area. Trying to make them look a little bit different in every bathroom throughout this building. I've added accent walls here to the side where all the sinks are, and yeah, public toilets, or the main toilet area. Now, the check-in area, I wasn't really sure how to make them look realistic, because a lot of items that I wanted don't exist, but you'll see me struggle with that later this episode, or anyway. Here I go adding about some TVs to the, or like information screens rather, for the passengers, and here we go with some signs and badges, and I found this ad sign which shows an airplane, and I found that this really matched well, and then I used these stock marquees for a big flight information panel right across from the check-in area. Remove the windows over there, and that's from the outside. It's the banner, it's the, yeah, this billboard, and yeah, right from that billboard I took the idea of how I wanted to design the roof on this, which is something that we'll tackle within this episode. But first of all, I added some planters out on the outside between the benches. That makes it look a little more inviting, and some street lights and signs, entrance, you know, arrivals, departures, whatever. A tiny little fountain on each side with some water elements, which I'll add later, and you'll see those in the screenshots at the end, how they make this place look very inviting and very welcoming, and I like that. Yeah, here we go, some water plays, and I think we're now on to the roof. Are we? No, we're not yet. Not quite. Not quite. Okay, adding some paint. Oh yeah, wallpapers around the building, and here we go with the roof. I tried to extend the roofs over the entrances so people coming in wouldn't be wet if it were to rain, and extended the roof over the entirety of the building. Doing the same kind of idea on the back side so you wouldn't get wet if you entered the airport on a terminal, or exited the airport rather. This is arrivals here on the left, and departures on the right. Now I use this dark green trim to add some kind of accent color, or color accent to this. Later on we will raise the back roof, the one facing the runway, a little bit, which allows us a space to add a sign towards the front, which actually looks pretty interesting as well. You'll see that right now as we speak. We're rising it up using one of those signs that actually looks like airport somewhat. I'm just gonna scale that up. Where is it? Yes, there we go. And I doubled it because it says airport, whatever. Adding some billboards to the side of this building, you know, because why not? And you know, just a little outside decoration here, because I don't like these bland white walls with the panels on them, so I want something to be there. And that about wraps up this second part. Thank you for watching this part, and I'll see you in the finale. Thanks for watching. Bye!